I have a horse who is recently diagnosed with navicular disorder. Can you explain this in simple terms? He's being managed by the farrier and is currently sound and rideable. Would any of your supplements serve my horse well? The reason I picked this question
I was gonna ask you
is my quarter horse, Cody, who is going to be 28 April 1st, has had, since he was probably 6 years old, on and off lameness issues in his front end, which was initially referred to as navicular disease, was then referred to as navicular syndrome, and then by later vets and articles that I was reading, caudal heel pain syndrome.
Oh, man.
And so has a whole evolution of names and terminology, and this is something that I've done a lot of reading on, and I think there are a lot of people out there who could benefit from hearing this answer.
Okay, well, here's what I have found. That navicular disease it's generally accepted that that refers to the actual navicular bone. So progressive degeneration of the bone, usually because of circulatory reasons. When the term navicular syndrome is used, then it refers to, like you said, it can be heel pain, it can be caudal third of the hoof pain, it can be, there's lots of terms for it, but the point is it's more structures and could be involved than just the bone. What structures are we talking about? And I don't know if yours has been, you found this out, but we use ultrasound, we use x-rays or radiography. MRI is very handy for this, and CAT scans, to say if it's the coffin joint, the coffin bone, the navicular bursa, so which is a little fluid-filled sac between the navicular bone and the deep digital flexor tendon, could be that. There's a couple ligaments down there, the Impar ligament, the Collateral sesamoidean ligament. So now we're learning through this enhanced imaging that we have now, but we didn't have, 10, 20, 30 years ago, that it might not be the bone that's causing horses discomfort, usually in the front legs. It could be one of these other structures, and it could be a joint or soft tissue. So now the treatments that we've had, many of them to increase circulation in the foot, some of them for bone rebuilding, like the new bisphosphonates, the Tildren and the Osphos. If it's not, the problem isn't bone, then they're not going to be helpful. So my advice for anyone that's got a horse with navicular is you've got to find out what structure is affected. Because you could be chasing squirrels, is that the saying? You could be chasing things and spending money and going round and round and not helping your horse for a long time. So that's why the ultrasound and the MRIs, things, it might seem like a lot of money up front and a lot of work because you have to go somewhere, but it's worth it in the long run, because they might say what your horse has will be helped by a joint injection, tendon support, something for the bursa specifically. We need to get in there with some ingredients. There's lots of prescription medications that your veterinarian can choose from once they know what the issue is. And it will also help you tailor your supplement program in conjunction with your veterinarian. I think discomfort is something that we want to address no matter what it is. So there's non-steroidals for this that can be given systemically or topically, like Surpass. And then there's things people love, Devil's Claw and Yucca, Bromelain, MSM, Omega-3s, hardly ever wrong, maybe never wrong. There's lots of ingredients, and I would encourage you to go on our website and read reviews, because I go on there and I read stuff, and people choose maybe one of our smart supplements, maybe another one, another brand, and they found great success with their horse in relieving discomfort. So they're like, at least I can help manage him and not have him feel so bad while we're working this out. But you'll have to get your farrier involved and work on trimming and shoeing, and maybe a footing change, maybe a discipline change, maybe you look at your turnout and your exercise program. So it's kind of a holistic view you have to take. But we're learning, because of enhanced imaging, there's a lot more to navicular than we used to think. So there's lots out there. I would encourage you to get a diagnosis.
I strongly second that recommendation, and I agree exactly with what you said. It can seem intimidating up front that getting the right diagnosis seems really expensive. Not more expensive than treating the wrong problem.
Exactly.
So
Your horse
I think that's
will
a good
thank
way
you.
to think of it. Yeah. That's true.